What if a single gemstone could shift your energy, and ancient pharaohs believed it was the key to spiritual connection? The Egyptians believed certain stones held real power. For instance, they associated Lapis with divine insight, Carnelian with vitality, and amethyst with clarity. These weren't simply ornaments. Each was chosen with care, woven into rituals for healing and transformation. Today, you'll see how these ancient practices can support your journey toward inner balance. As we explore, notice which stone you feel drawn to. Just keep that in mind for later. There's a reason these stones keep appearing in Egypt's most sacred places. Let's look at why the ancient Egyptians placed so much trust in the power of sacred stones. For them, gemstones weren't just beautiful. They were believed to be vessels of living energy, shaping destinies and offering a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. When you walk through the ruins of temples, you'll notice flashes of blue, orange, and green in carvings and relics. These colors aren't random. Lapis lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian appear again and again, not just for their beauty, but because each stone was thought to hold a unique gift from the gods: protection, clarity, vitality, and guidance. Imagine a pharaoh pausing before a string of lapis beads, choosing just one to wear into a ceremony. Why that bead? Priests and healers had reasons rooted in centuries of ritual and medicine. Stones were selected with intention, and their use was guided by the wisdom of temple priests who understood which crystal matched each need, dream, or challenge. This wasn't about following a trend or collecting pretty objects. For the Egyptians, the right stone was as important as the right herb or incantation, a remedy for the soul and a shield for the spirit. The reverence for these stones went far beyond their appearance. Lapis lazuli, for example, was so highly valued that it traveled thousands of miles from what is now Afghanistan to Egypt, a journey that required risk and determination. This stone was reserved for the most sacred uses. It appears in funerary masks like that of Tutankhamun, as well as in amulets and temple inlays. Egyptians believed that holding lapis brought clarity of mind, vivid dreams, and a deeper connection to the divine. Its celestial blue was seen as a mirror of the heavens, carrying wisdom from the gods to those who wore it. Later, I'll show you a simple way to try a lapis practice at home. So keep that in mind as we explore. Turquoise, with its gentle blend of sky and earth tones, was another favorite. It was often set into amulets for warriors and travelers, sewn into clothing or armor as a form of protection. The Egyptians believed turquoise could steady the spirit and shield the body, especially during times of uncertainty or conflict. Its calming color was a daily reminder of the balance between earth and sky, a harmony they believed was essential for well-being. Carnelian's warm orange glow symbolized vitality and life force. You'll find it pressed into seals, jewelry, and ceremonial tools. It was thought to bring energy, stamina, and courage, especially during transitions or challenges. Priests would recommend carnelian for those who needed strength, whether in battle, in healing, or in spiritual work. Every bead or amulet carried an intention. For example, "Let this stone strengthen me, so I may live, achieve, and remember." The process of choosing and using these stones was deeply personal and spiritual. Pharaohs and high-ranking officials often sought the guidance of temple healers who were trained to match stones to specific ailments or spiritual needs. This wasn't guesswork. The Ebers Papyrus and other ancient texts describe how gems were prescribed for everything from physical illnesses to spiritual protection, and even to prepare the soul for its journey beyond death. These instructions were carved into tomb walls and painted on papyri, a testament to how seriously the Egyptians took the power of crystal energy. Artifacts tell the rest of the story. Amulets shaped like sacred scarabs, necklaces found in burial wrappings, and inlaid gems in temple statues all reflect careful, intentional choices. Temple inscriptions detail where and how stones should be placed to channel healing or protective energies. almost like a written prescription. In healing ceremonies, the right crystal was as vital as the right chant or herb, each element working together to restore balance. So, when we see these stones in museums or in books, it's easy to think of them as symbols of wealth or status. But for the Egyptians, each stone was a living tool, chosen for a purpose, sometimes to protect the body, sometimes to guide the spirit, and always to support the journey of life and death. Their choices were urgent and meaningful, as much a part of daily life as any medicine or ritual. Now, imagine stepping deeper into a world where these crystals weren't just worn or admired, but woven into the very heart of ceremony and healing. The Egyptians understood that stones could be used in ways that feel almost alchemical, something we'll see as we look closer at their rituals and sacred spaces. Let's step inside the world of Egyptian ritual, where crystal energy shaped medicine, magic, and the spaces people called sacred. Imagine a healer preparing for a ceremony, not just with herbs and prayers, but with stones chosen for their color, shape, and meaning. In these quiet chambers, the air might carry the scent of incense while polished gems catch the light. The ritual isn't for ornamentation, it's for healing, protection, and spiritual alignment. Crystals played a direct role in Egyptian healing practices. Medical papyri, like the Ebers papyrus, include remedies that blend practical medicine with ritual. You'll find instructions for grinding stones such as amethyst or malachite into fine powders, then mixing them into ointments or drinks. These weren't abstract recipes. They were meant to soothe a troubled mind, calm inflammation, or support restful sleep. Tomb paintings and archaeological finds confirm that stones were also worn as amulets, placed with intention on the body or sewn into garments for ongoing protection. Medical papyri call for stone powders, and tomb evidence shows amulets placed on the body, weaving together the material and the mystical. When a healer or priest placed a stone on someone's chest or forehead, it wasn't random. Each choice reflected a deep belief in the relationship between color, energy, and the body's needs. Blue stones, such as lapis or turquoise, were chosen to support the voice or bring peace to the mind. Red and orange stones like carnelian were used for courage and vitality, especially in times of transition or illness. Sometimes, stones were arranged around the patient in intentional patterns. Archaeologists find purposeful placements and amulet groupings in tombs and ritual contexts. In some cases, stones are arranged around the body in intentional patterns that echo cosmic order. The spoken word was just as essential. A prayer or incantation would often accompany the placement, activating the stone's energy and inviting harmony. Burial rituals reveal even more about how crystals were woven into the Egyptian vision of transformation. In royal tombs, gems like Lapis Lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian were carefully positioned beside the heart, hands, or brow. These placements weren't just decorative. Each stone was believed to protect, guide, or empower the soul as it moved through the underworld. Patterns of amulets and stones found in burial sites often mirror the larger order Egyptians saw in the cosmos, an energy grid meant to support the soul's safe passage and rebirth. The deliberate arrangements found in tombs, especially those of pharaohs and priests, reflect a belief that the journey after death required both spiritual and energetic support. Picture the mask of Tutankhamun for a moment, the lapis outlining the eyes, the turquoise at the brow, the stripes of carnelian. Each stone was chosen for its specific power: lapis for clarity and protection, turquoise for harmony, carnelian for strength. These choices weren't just symbolic. They were part of a precise system meant to safeguard the king's spirit and ensure his successful transition to the next world. When you see these stones together, you're looking at a message, one that blends beauty, intention, and a deep trust in the energetic properties of the earth. Healing in ancient Egypt was never just physical. Ritual baths, spoken spells, and the mindful placement of crystals all worked together to restore what the Egyptians called mat, balance and order in both body and spirit. Purification and alignment were inseparable. To heal was to harmonize every layer of a person's being. The act of grinding a stone, placing it on the skin, or arranging amulets in a certain order was filled with meaning. The healer's skill, the faith of the community, and the presence of the crystal itself all contributed to the outcome. Even now, as we look back, it's clear that the Egyptians saw no real boundary between medicine and magic. Their rituals were detailed, intentional, and rooted in a worldview where matter, energy, and spirit were always connected. It's easy to imagine these practices as distant or mysterious, but the records, whether in papyrus scrolls or painted tombs, show a culture deeply invested in the healing power of stones. There's something quietly compelling about how they trusted the subtle, unseen forces at play. Forces we're only beginning to understand. If you've ever wondered whether the energy of a crystal can be felt, or if there's more to these ancient practices than meets the eye, you're not alone. The Egyptians left us clues that invite us to look deeper, to question, and maybe even to experience a shift for ourselves. We would like to pause here a moment and ask, if this message resonates, brought clarity or peace, subscribe and share this with someone who might need it too. Also, after this video, make sure to grab the special gift we have in the description, just for you. Now let us continue. Picture yourself sitting quietly, a crystal resting in your palm. Maybe you notice a faint tingle or a gentle sense of calm, something subtle that feels just out of reach. For the ancient Egyptians, this wasn't just a passing sensation. They believed that stones carried a natural energy, a vibration that could tune the body and spirit, much like a musician tunes an instrument. Each crystal, in their view, had its own unique frequency, and when chosen with care, it could help bring a person back into harmony. What's striking is how Egyptian healers described this process. In temple records and medical papyri, they spoke of resonance, the way sound and crystal could work together, weaving through the body, restoring balance. There were even words for this: the heartbeat of a stone or the echo of a sacred chamber. Their approach went beyond what was visible or tangible. The Egyptians valued the unseen, the subtle forces that moved through stone, voice, and ritual. They didn't need modern instruments to sense these effects. Instead, they trusted experience, intuition, and centuries of observation. Fast forward to today, and researchers are beginning to uncover evidence that aligns in unexpected ways with these ancient beliefs. Take the Great Pyramid's King's Chamber, for example. John Stuart Reid and other investigators have proposed that certain chambers in Egypt's monuments amplify harmonic frequencies. Their studies show that sound doesn't simply bounce off the stone walls, it's concentrated and enhanced, creating a field of resonance that can be measured. While it's difficult to say that the Egyptians engineered these spaces with modern acoustics in mind, it's clear that sound, stone, and focused ritual interact in ways that affect both the environment and the people within it. Researchers today find that sound, stone, and focused ritual can interact in measurable ways, so reimagining those ceremonies as experiments in resonance is reasonable. This idea of vibration runs even deeper when you look at the crystals themselves. Quartz, for example, reveals a remarkable property. When pressure is applied, it generates a small electric charge. This effect, known as Piezoelectricity, and was only discovered in the late 19th century. Yet quartz was one of the most valued stones in ancient Egypt, chosen for amulets, inlays, and ritual tools. While the Egyptians wouldn't have described piezoelectricity as we do, their reverence for quartz and their belief in its energetic qualities seem to echo what modern science has found. It's as if their practical wisdom anticipated discoveries that would come thousands of years later. What stands out is that, for the Egyptians, energy wasn't an abstract theory. It was real, woven into every ritual, every remedy, every sacred space. They selected their crystals with the same care and intention that a healer today might use in choosing a sound frequency or a plant remedy. The physical properties of stones mattered, but so did the intention, the ritual, and the belief that matter and spirit are always intertwined. This perspective opens a door to a much broader view of wellness, one that honors both the material and the unseen. And it sets the stage for understanding how the Egyptians approached healing as a truly unified experience, where body, mind, and spirit were inseparable from the very start. In the Egyptian approach to healing, practical remedies and spiritual ritual worked hand in hand, each reinforcing the other. The blueprint for their holistic system is found right in their ancient texts. The Ebers Papyrus, for example, shows us that medicine and magic were not separate paths. One line might list a remedy, and the next, a spell. This was no accident. Egyptian healers believed that a treatment's power increased when paired with intention and sacred words. The papyri make this clear as effective healing blends the physical and the spiritual. When you look at how Egyptians used crystals, you see this philosophy in action. Stones weren't just objects of beauty or status. They were chosen for their ability to support both the body and the soul. A healer might grind carnelian into a paste for strength, then recite a prayer invoking the energy of Isis. The stone carried the intention, and the words activated its potential. Each element had a role, and neither was complete without the other. Their understanding of health rested on the idea of Mat, the principle of universal harmony. Mat wasn't just a lofty ideal. It was woven through everything from the cycles of the Nile to the rhythms of daily life. When someone fell ill, it was seen as a disturbance in this cosmic order. The path to healing was about restoring balance, not just curing symptoms. Crystals, like turquoise for protection or lapis for clarity, served as reminders and tools for re-establishing your place within that greater order. The Egyptians mapped the body in ways that feel familiar to us now. Ancient texts describe a network of vessels which carried blood, air, and life force throughout the body. Scholars today note the similarity to the meridian systems found in traditional Chinese medicine. Egyptians believed that keeping these pathways open was vital. If energy became blocked, healers would use stones, color, and sound, sometimes placing a crystal directly on the body, sometimes combining it with chants to help restore flow and harmony. Their rituals were highly intentional. In temple ceremonies, priests didn't just perform for an audience. They focused collective energy, channeling it through stones and words. Amulets made with lapis, turquoise, or carnelian weren't simply decorative. They were charged with prayers and worn to protect, strengthen, or guide. The making of an amulet involved craftsmanship, but also careful ritual. Cleansing the stone, setting a purpose, and speaking an invocation to awaken its energy. Even in private healing, the process was never just about the physical act. A healer might instruct someone to wear a certain stone, but also to recite a specific prayer or participate in a ritual bath. Every step linked matter and spirit. You might find instructions in the papyri that call for a stone to be placed on the chest while a spell is spoken, or for a gem to be ground and mixed with honey, then consumed with a blessing. These practices weren't superstition. They reflected a worldview where every action had both a material and a spiritual effect. Let me ask you, which feels more important to you, the ritual or the remedy? Drop one word in the comments. I'd love to know what resonates most with you. Bringing ancient crystal healing into your life doesn't require grand gestures or rare artifacts. It begins with small, intentional steps that echo the practices of Egyptian healers. Steps you can adapt to fit your own daily rhythm. The Egyptians approached each stone as an ally, chosen with care, cleansed with purpose, and placed with intention. If you're curious how to make this wisdom practical, here are 3 ways to weave it into your routine. First, let's talk about choosing your stone. The Egyptians never picked crystals at random or by trend. They matched stones to their needs: Lapis for clarity and insight, Turquoise for protection, Carnelian for vitality and courage. When you select a stone, pause for a moment. Hold each one in your hand and notice which color, texture, or subtle sensation draws you in. This quiet act of listening is part of the tradition, trusting that your intuition and the stone's story can meet in the present moment. Whether you find your crystal in a shop, in nature, or among family keepsakes, let your choice be guided by what you want to invite into your life, just as Egyptian healers did. Once you've chosen your stone, the next step is cleansing and charging it. In Egypt, stones were often purified with incense smoke or water and then dedicated with prayer. You can pass your stone through the smoke of incense or sage, or rinse it under running water to clear any lingering energy. Just remember, not all stones are water safe. Some are porous or can be damaged. It's wise to research whether your chosen stone can handle water before rinsing it. As you cleanse, imagine the stone being refreshed and ready to support you. After cleansing, hold the stone in your hands and set an intention. Speak it softly, out loud, or in your heart, as the Egyptians once did. For example, "May this stone support me in finding clarity," or "Let this stone remind me to stay grounded and strong." The third step is placement and use. Egyptian healers placed stones on specific points of the body, guided by a system called MTW, channels believed to carry life force. They placed Lapis at the brow for insight, Turquoise at the throat for clear expression, and Carnelian at the abdomen for vitality. You don't need elaborate ceremonies or rare stones to benefit from this approach. What matters is the care you bring to each step. Choosing with purpose, cleansing with awareness, and using your stone as a focus for intention and mindful presence. Over time, these simple acts can help you feel more connected to yourself and to the wisdom of those who came before. As you continue exploring, remember that every stone you hold is part of a story that stretches back thousands of years. Each choice, each ritual, becomes a small doorway, inviting you to step between the world you can touch and the deeper layers you sense within. Egyptian healing was never just about medicine or ritual alone. It was about weaving body, mind, and spirit into one practice. Their approach reminds us that intention, energy, and tradition can work together in our own search for balance. Science is beginning to measure how vibration and ritual affect biology and mood, which echoes what the Egyptians practiced thousands of years ago. Which stone did you feel pulled toward? Tell us below. I'd love to hear about your experience. We would love to continue with you on your spiritual journey. So, subscribe for more explorations of practical ancient wisdom. Also, make sure you check out our gift for you in the description below. Until next time, beautiful souls, namaste.